All right, guys, here we are to talk about the movie Fast and the Furious 8, The Fate of the Furious.
So when I texted you, I actually put the 8 right after the F, which I thought that's how it was, because that's how it should be, no? 8 of the Furious.
Sure.
But they didn't do
I
that.
don't think it's that way, though.
They should probably do that.
Nah,
Is it too late to change the
they can't be
posters?
confusing people.
Okay.
Too many people have learned how to spell
The F8
against
of the
their
Furious.
own best advice. But yeah, no, this movie was pretty great. What did you think about it?
I thought it was okay. I thought it was good. I would not say that it was great.
The parts that were standout for me were so standout that I was like,
Oh, yeah,
hell yeah. And like yeah, maybe 7 was more of a consistent ride, but
Yeah.
I think there was some higher
I think.
mountaintop peaks here.
Which ones did I miss? 3, 4, and 5, maybe? Because so I've definitely seen 6. We definitely saw 7 like together. And I think after 7, I said like I think 6 is still my favorite of the ones I've seen. And I think after 8, I still feel that way.
Okay.
I don't know. Like so, there was there was like a brief time period where I thought the movie was losing me or something like that.
Okay, and then it
but,
came back for
But
you?
then totally, so many good things happened and so many awesome moments happened that it was just like, well, this is fine. So like by the end, I'm like, yes, thumbs up, good. It's it's a good movie. It's fine or whatever. But I didn't have the same holy shit feelings as I did as like the other ones or something.
Oh,
like
there
that.
was a while toward the end of this movie, and spoilers. There's like when the sub is like coming at them.
Yeah.
My eyes like didn't blink. I was like, just watching that
Okay.
shit go down. I was like, oh my god! And then like when the Statham brothers are
That's
are
pretty
coming
good,
in to
yeah.
save the baby. Oh, that was wonderful.
Oh no, I was laughing with Jason Statham and the baby and all that stuff.
He might have had like the best scenes.
That was pretty dope.
It
That
was
was super
great.
dope. We're going to assume that you've seen this movie. We're going to be spoiling it and kind of just talking around things
Just talking about
without giving you the whole plot synopsis because you just saw it.
Yeah.
You know what the fuck happened. But yeah, so we saw those trailers.
hmm
We saw all these things. We knew Dom goes bad. There's
Yeah.
remote control cars. There's a submarine. We got a submarine, and like the other, like we knew about these basic things. But each of those set pieces, I feel like delivered, and like they very smartly showed you certain things in the trailer, and then so that when you saw the movie, you weren't like, well, I guess this is the part of the country where they do the hooks. Like there was so much that happened during, after, and
Yeah.
before that moment from the trailer that I didn't feel robbed or cheated or like they
No,
gave
no.
anything away bad or whatever. Like it was super, yeah. And there's so much more to Dom's traitorousness and the coming in and out that wasn't even that like, because like in the trailer it's like, why are they giving that away in the trailer? Wouldn't it have been so much cooler to have that be like, what the fuck, like during the movie?
Yeah,
but
no,
the way
I
they
didn't
structured
think,
it,
yeah, it was awesome. I liked
It
the
was fine.
bits in Cuba. I thought that was cool. A nice open for the movie. You
Yeah.
meet his cousin, who I'm wondering if in like after 10 movies they're gonna be like, let's pass the torch to his cousin.
I was looking for torch passing here and there because part of me is like dreading that when they're gonna be like, "Hey, here's the new fucking guy. You like him, right? Like,
Yeah.
like little, little nobody or whatever."
That's Clint Eastwood's son.
Oh fuck, that's why. So when he like, they're like cutting, like, "Oh, we're going in the car. We're doing the thing. Team, whatever. Let's go." Like, and like. In my head, I was like, "Wait, is little nobody, little nothing, like in a car?
He's taking over for Brian.
Did he get a car? I know." And I'm like, "Fuck you, get out of here! Fuck this other fake Brian motherfucking
Yeah.
guy! Fuck you!" No, I was very like against that. And then he like his like because I figured, oh, he'll just now be awesome and he'll be one of the crew and they'll like high five like, I guess you aren't such a piece of shit, whatever. But then he immediately
Fucks up.
the scaffolding falls on him and he fucks up and like lets Dom out. I was like, okay, good, he's fucking sucks still, good.
Yeah.
So like and that's what I mean. The whole movie was sort of that microcosm where I'm like, I see what you're doing. Wait a minute. Oh no, it's fine. That's my whole like journey with everything.
I love.
'cause there
He's
had
got to
that
have
little
2,000
dangerous thing.
horsepower. Try 3,000. More like 5, 7.
They just keep going up, whatever.
How do you guess that just from looking at a car pull a
No,
wire?
yeah. And there's so many things that are so dumb like that I don't care about, obviously. I don't want to be the person who's like, it's highly unrealistic. This isn't how hacking looks, guys, because I do not care. Like this is the kind, this is the type of movie, and I hate those cliche phrases like turn your brain off or just relax. But no, like there's a difference between turning your brain off because you have to, because like your brain will be damaged if you don't, and turning your brain off of like, hey, don't nitpick this, just have fun now. Isn't this just a catchy song? Don't worry about the lyrics. Don't worry about the just feel right now. And yes, when the fucking when he hits the person with like the door of the Lambo that he was just riding on, that he somehow stuck to when the Lambo was in there. I love that he picks the Lambo, which is like, and like when they show the cars and they're arranged like it's an 80s cartoon, like right in like in the snow behind them. My first thought was like, that is the dumbest vehicle to pick for this mission. You're a fucking idiot. And then they make good on that, where he's sliding around and he's this obvious target, and they actually say, maybe you're in a fucking neon orange Lambo in the middle of the snow. Everyone else has like four-wheel, like fast track hatchback. Fucking, he has a fucking dump truck, basically. This fucking crazy thing. Everyone picked like mission appropriate things, but
that's his character.
But he
like,
could not see past.
Sense.
Yes, I would say that a lot of his humor stuff I thought was like a little too much.
No, I like him, except for like that selfie at the end. I thought everything he did was like, I thought character appropriate and worked. I don't know why the selfie he took looked like a camera from 1993.
I know.
But other than that, I was like, okay, Tyrese's character's fine. Ludacris looks like he's aged 100 years since the last movie in this one.
He's Chris Bridges now. He's trying to be Chris Bridges.
He's Ludacris Bridges.
I know. Did you catch? Because wasn't it Dwayne Johnson and then it was Chris Ludacris Bridges? So like The Rock has been able to drop The Rock, right, for like the credits, but Ludacris still has to include Ludacris.
Well, I think he might. I think his movie credit might always have been Chris Ludacris Bridges.
Yeah, but because he can't drop the Ludacris.
I don't know if he wants to drop it.
I don't know. I would think he would want
to. I don't know. I think just because Chris Bridges sounds like a normal dude like Nash Bridges, you just want to make sure they know it. That's me, bitch.
That's why you have to leave it in. But Dwayne Johnson,
no, but Dwayne Johnson
is
a name that like is very specific. Chris
guess.
Bridges sounds like a boring name.
They both sound like generic, super normal names to me.
Nah, Dwayne Johnson has risen above.
That's what I mean. He's so famous that now he's a fucking.
No, I mean the name itself has risen above.
Drop the Rock. I did. Tyrese is obviously the comic relief. He's getting shot and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's his game.
I liked 78% of it, but there were times where I was like getting sick of it. But then he'd very quickly do something else that I'd be like, okay, no, this is working, this is fine, or whatever. I like Hacker Girl being back for some reason. She's just part of the team now. The whole thing.
The Rock's one-liners were the best they've ever been
pretty
in
great.
This movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very good. And him and I can't think of his fucking name.
Jason Statham.
Jason Statham.
Yeah.
They had some great little banter back and forth.
Yeah.
You saw like he's like, no, that was my friend. He's dead. No, you killed my friend.
No,
he wasn't dead though.
Okay, so that was weird because he was obviously. All right. So many things to say.
Sure.
I liked The Rock and Jason Statham's like developing bromance or whatever. I thought it was a little rushed and a little clumsy, but it was fine. And I thought that so like you knew that Jason Statham wasn't going to die, and if he died like that, that would have been horrible. So I just knew
he wasn't.
I just knew he wasn't dead, and which was like kind of. Sucks.
I didn't think we were going to see him in this movie again. I thought you were going to see him in the next movie, and like he would have gotten the same offer The Rock got. Like, no, you're off the system now. You work for us.
Right.
Like I thought that was going to happen.
Like post credit, like something or other.
Yeah, maybe.
And he's in there. Yeah, but I like what they did with it. But when he died, so like their mother. Owen and his like mother or whatever. Was she in previous movies? Was I supposed to know who that was?
I didn't think she was, but maybe she was. I couldn't remember that. That's what's her face.
I knew her.
Judi Dench.
Helen Mirren.
Helen Mirren. yeah, Helen Mirren.
Jane Helen Mirren.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I didn't know if I was supposed to recognize her. I just roll with it. That was fine. That happened a few times because I've missed several movies that happened during the modern half of the whatever. So it's a little rough sometimes. Because there was a part later where it was like, oh shit, it was those guys.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who the fuck are those guys?
They were in like, what movie would that have been? When they were in Mexico. Is that movie 4?
4 or 5? Because I didn't see them.
But I was like, oh, and then like the dude from Cuba, I'm like, you're a homie now, I guess. We'll see you in the next movie.
Who's that guy?
He was the guy that they took his car.
But he's a whole new guy, right?
Yeah, he's a
We're not
new guy.
supposed to know him either.
No, he's a new guy.
They were like sometimes people frame characters' faces in a way where it's like I'm obviously supposed to know who this is, but I don't know who the fuck this is. Okay, but then he dies and he comes back and he gets to see his brother, and that's what leads to the whole thing. So they're both out of jail now.
Yep.
But his brother, like, they were both villains, but they're not really villains because The Rock likes Jason Statham, and the other guy was just fucked over by Cypher, too. So Cypher's, like, the big bad now, and she fucking had a parachute, luckily, so she's around to do more bad things in like, the next 2 movies or whatever.
She looks so different in every movie.
She does.
Like, what the... Like, her body contorts or something, like, and moves her face around.
I know, right?
If you look at her like in Monster, of course, she has like crazy makeup.
We can't really.
But then if you look at her like in that new action movie, Atomic Blonde,
yep.
versus this, I'm like, those are different people.
No, and like and that's
they came out the same year, like.
And that's even like a more subtle one because she was in Mad Max, right? And
yeah.
she's made up there, but still.
Furiosa.
Totally different.
Yeah.
And even if you're like, well, she was almost the same character in like Prometheus, and then you're like, no, if I go in my head, I'm like, those are not the same people either.
No, she's
like,
definitely.
What the fuck is going on?
She's definitely good in that regard. Where I'm like, all right, who the fuck are you?
What'd you think of her in this movie?
I thought she was fine.
As a villain. Okay, I didn't love her. This gave a lot of weird speeches.
I don't think I ever love a villain, really.
I love some villains.
Not to say I've never done it, but in these movies especially, I don't think there's ever been a villain that's been stand out where I'm like, oh, them.
Right. In like the Fast and Furious line of movies.
Yes.
No, it's not their strong suit, and the way they're playing so fast and furiously loose with who's good and who's bad, I feel like that's fine. That's not like the end of the world. It did not ruin anything for me, but I like a villain that talks like that, but in a way that like chews the scenery and makes you go, oh, this person's like fucked up.
Like you knew the girl was gonna die.
Oh, who are those people?
Yeah, that's from 5 or something.
Fuck. Because Dom was with someone else while Liddy was
dead.
Lost her memory. Fucking series is crazy.
But yeah, so like that, you knew she was gonna die because Letty said like, "Do you ever think about having kids?" Like, so like that's their kid. That's gonna be their kid. And it was. So that was predictable, but nothing about these movies is ever like, oh, I could never have seen that coming except for like the you survived.
Which you should see coming just because of marketing
in the very beginning in Cuba when he drives the car and he's doing like 200 miles an hour and rolls out of the car and then just gets up like, what up, guys?
I know.
I'm like, you have a short sleeve shirt on. You should be, like, your arms should be just skinned to nothing.
That's what I mean by like having to turn off the brain, though, because once you start being like the tensile strength of steel is nowhere near whatever, and like
he's so strong he can't get cut.
He has superpowers related to cars.
Well, they are. They're car superheroes.
They're superheroes.
Before,
they're
and it's wonderful. I love it so much.
Superheroes. What should that be called?
I loved when the end explosion's happening after the heat-seeking missile takes his car and he takes it into the submarine and like the cars like and like they make like a perfect blast shield around him and you see him like I'm all right, my family.
Family.
I loved it so much.
No, because it's literally like an old 80s whatever fucking...
That's like what the Transformers would do to save like the kid.
I'm expecting the cars to form a giant car robot in like the final one. Like that's the level of fucking crazy weirdness. Because there's literally... They even have like... They have the specialties the way one of those 80s teams would have, right? Yeah. Because it's like the Donatello doing machines or whoever or whatever. Like the Thundercats, like all Voltron, like I said, all those different things. It has all those... All of those elements, and it's so like gratuitous and great.
No, it's wonderful.
Fucking A. We talked about all the set pieces, or no?
Meaning
Cuba. So again,
I love how the reveals of where they are is like how they write it into the scene.
It's like in the thing.
It's really done well.
No, I like that because that became really cheesy and like overused for like a minute, and then people just stopped. But now here it is like this.
Done like very well.
Pretty good. No, I liked that too. So in Cuba, several things happen. I'm like, well, you just lose the race now. Even if you recover from that, you just lose the race. And he just does not lose the race. And it's crazy. I liked that little hanging thing of like a totally separate, contained thing to be like, just to kind of level set you, just to like set your expectations. Okay, this guy's a car superhero. He can win any race. He's indestructible, and he likes his family, but he's honorable in this weird way. Just to set all that up or whatever.
But like when you think about it, so it's like I need this car to just drive 1 mile, and he did gut everything of weight from the car.
We both chuckled where she was like, "It'll be a bomb." He's like, "Oh, it has to go a mile," and both of us chuckled in like the theater because like fucking A.
No, because you strap it with that much nos and like just do it, go. The thing that always gets me in these movies though is like there's something happens. Like in this one, an avalanche caused by like a speeding submarine is coming at you. So like they're going as fast as is humanly possible, but then something happens like and they shift into another gear that for some reason you weren't already going as fast as you could go, and that was a thing that happened so many times where I was like, how many gears are in this car?
And why are you only in 3rd gear when you have 5 gears? Yeah. No, I know, and that's again the whole thing because like part of this has to be like, well, you're just trying harder. You're just like harder,
I have
and
the
then
heart of the car.
and like the car goes faster, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like you're linked to the car and like your own will. It's that Teen Titans where Cyborg is like I'm already at 100%. I can't go any harder.
Yeah.
And it's like, but then like do it.
Pure muscle.
Like Neo from the Matrix just has to like figure it out. Just has to do it, and then we made the jump, and you're like, what? Fucking whatever. No, but like it comes full circle. Obviously, it's like fucking what? Okay, like it's just this happy thing.
It's a wonderful, outlandish thing. I like that during the prison break, he's in. Hobbs is just kind of like, no, don't let him go, and he beats up all the officers just to try to stop this guy from escaping the prison.
Yes.
So good.
And we had Kurt Russell come back and orchestrate all that stuff. He's looking like he's getting a little old.
Well, he is.
But he is getting
like
a little
70 years old.
Yes, but I like him in
he's
there.
He's doing more movies than ever, though. Honestly,
I think he's like, let's do this. Let's make this happen.
Well, yeah, you don't know how long you have left.
Yeah.
Fucking crack it out. Especially like just doing fun movies like he's doing now, where it's not like a crazy amount of effort on his part. Aside from the Hateful Eight, that was a good amount of effort.
Yeah. No, he's an actor, and I like him in this, and he's having fun. And he's a guy that I always like to see get work, just from the history of enjoying his roles and all that stuff. I don't want the fucking torch to get passed to Little Nothing, though. That fucking sucks.
Yeah.
I didn't like him in this. He didn't really do much.
He's very much the Brian character, though. Like he fits the we need a blonde, good-looking guy.
I'm like resentful of that, though. That's what like triggers me. Like, fuck you, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
Go fucking do something else.
Shit happens.
Shit does in fact happen.
Did we cover everything that happens in this movie? Like, you know, like a good part. We didn't do like a play-by-play of the movie, but did you say the things you wanted to say?
Randomly. No, so like all I can say is like stuff like again, like so this applies to everything that we heard about or had in the trailer or like anything like that. Where like the remote control car thing. Sure. Right, so we'd already seen the cars like falling out of the parking garage, and the cars like tumbling like DayZ, like coming around the corner and just smashing into each other like this big glorious thing. But seeing it all put together, it was even better. It was even greater. Well, because
seeing it in the commercial, you're just like, oh yeah, all those cars. But you don't think where they're coming from. People are in them. They're coming out of traffic. They're coming out of parking. They're in lots. Like it was definitely interesting and cool in the way like it just comes through and like. It's all to get the nuclear football from some Russian like ambassador or whatever it was, and that dude like a gun pops out of the top of that shit and it's like blowing that shit away.
Right, even that was cool. That dude looked like an agent from like the Matrix with like the sunglasses and the suit and like shooting and bullet shells laying everywhere. But yeah, there's like they really took a lot of effort to make good on the whole because there's the car on like the weird ramp like in the building and that like oh sorry you like we're hacking and dude's in a cab and like the driver jumps out and then the guy being given the cab ride pokes his head out the window like what or something like that and I'm like yeah fucking what because all these random cars some have people
because
some
he knows if you jump out of a car you'll probably die.
Right? That guy's dead.
Especially during a car stampede.
No, I know. There's other cars coming up in the car stampede. Fuck.
Yeah, that guy didn't even really look. He just jumped.
Well, he was like, my car is a mind of its own. I want no part of this.
I don't want to be in this world anymore. And he just dies.
Fuck. No, but like she uses the phrase zero day exploits and all that stuff. Like they pepper in like real terms and hacking things and all that stuff. So that part's fine. And they don't go over the top with it where it's like there's a little bit of that, like, oh, she's really good. Oh, I got you now. Oh, go fuck yourself. I'm hacking, though. And then it's like the hacking back and forth and all that goofy shit or whatever.
Gotta get the free people on this keyboard to hack twice as fast.
That's what I mean by going, like, too far with it or whatever. And the idea of, like, pulling a chip, all that stuff makes sense. It's fine, you know.
I like that they did a callback to the God's Eye because the God's Eye is it's like one of those trump cards where it's like, yeah, use that. You can do anything with that. Oh, okay. They had to come for it. Oh, funny thing about that. What? That's here.
Oh, I loved that. That's the cheesiest thing ever. That was one of my favorite moments of the whole movie. Because, like, you see it and, like, that's your first thought, but it still is good when it happens or whatever.
Do you know what my favorite part of this movie was?
What was your favorite part of this movie?
I loved when Vin Diesel's on the plane. He goes, kiss my son. And because he's the only reason you and everyone else in this plane is alive. I love that.
If I was you, I'd kiss my son. And she's like, oh? I really didn't like her in this, I have to say. The more that we're talking about the movie and I'm thinking about stuff, she was like neutral, like fine.
I feel
really
like that was her playing an antisocial character, though. Yeah. Like, like, I'm a hacker, I this and that, I whatever.
Right. I just did not like it. I don't know. I want if you're a villain, either don't give a speech, or give like a really good speech that really like gets me, and then like use the filmography techniques, cinematographical techniques, music and cuts and things, and really show me how we're getting into this. They just had these conversations that were just people, like two people talking very like flatly, where she's like, "That's the thing about choice. You gotta choose choice and fucking and I'm just like, I hate this. Move on to the next thing, please. I was not into it.
I kept thinking she had like dreadlocks or something, but she didn't. It was just like her hair was like kinked or something. What does he say to
the very tight like whatever things?
I think you think that, but I don't think it's true.
It looked like that.
What is the line he says to the redheaded guy? He's like, "Is it worth your life?" or like something like.
Yeah.
I was like,
dying for the redheaded guy we ain't talking about. That guy. He's from Game of Thrones. I don't know if you've gotten to that point yet because you're a bit behind. He's from Game of Thrones, and like, if you just picture that character wearing like furs and stuff, like the beard.
Oh
everything.
Wait, is he the leader of the halflings or whatever they're called, the wildlings?
Well, I was gonna say I used to know what they were called. They said halflings. Yeah, he's one of the guys. You know, he's one of the guys in the wildlings.
Like Eric or something.
Some name like that.
Yeah.
And he's fucking, but he has the same, I guess because he can't shave it because he's on the show still or whatever.
Probably.
But it's like the exact same beard and hair and everything's exactly. So it's so weird to see someone where, like, there was not even a second of like, hey, is that guy? It's like, oh, that's literally, he walked off the Game of Thrones set, put on a leather jacket, and now he's this guy. It's so weird. He had a very small role, but it was fine. It was nothing too,
it was
whatever.
Decent.
Yeah, he's doing it. He has an accent apparently, and that makes sense too, I guess, whatever.
Sure.
So the other thing, so like I said, they show you stuff in the trailer. They show you like everything or like whatever. It really worried me when you saw him getting recruited by her, like right off the bat. Like,
did it?
I really wanted that.
You wanted it to be a surprise.
So like because that's the whole math that that I later did. Like it was never going to be a surprise because they put it in the trailer. So I guess it's fine, or people could just tell people Dom's bad in this one or some bullshit like that. But that was part of getting hyped for this. Dom's bad in this one? How? Why? But it, like when she like stages the thing to like run into him on the street and then says I know everything about you and all that stuff, that really rubbed me the wrong way. I was like, oh no, what the fuck? Like, why are you seeing this? And then I'm like, okay, it's one scene of it, that's fine. Then there's like 3 more where there's like random shit where I'm like, wait, like don't show me them doing stuff before like the group knows that he's turned on, because then it's like cutting away the like suspense of it or whatever. But then again, they showed more stuff, and then there's like an hour and a half more of the movie, and it's fine. But it definitely that's what I mean by I was like the movie lost me for a little bit there. I was like, wait, what are you doing? What the fuck? What's happening here?
I was along for the ride. It never dropped me out. I guess certain parts were more like, oh, this is a movie, and not just like the action, like like bathing that I'm used to.
Yeah.
But it brought back into that, and I thought it was like, it never really lost me. It's just like, oh, it's a little slow right now, plot, whatever. But was always down. Was like, oh, right.
I'm not a like adrenaline junkie crazy person, obviously.
I was trying to see like, what do you think they have on him?
Yeah.
I was thinking that it was going to be a thing like, oh, he's got Brian and your sister, and then like you don't obey him and Brian dies, and that's how you wrote him off the show.
That too.
Yeah.
And then it turned out to be this woman where I'm like, who the fuck is this? Fucking what? What? Who the fuck are you? The whole thing hinges on some shit that I don't even know. And like the whole theater though was like, or something like that. And I'm like, what the fuck's happening here? I guess I'm supposed to know that the person.
Oh, a person.
And then like the whole fucking we have to exposition it with words. And then when I knew I was pregnant, and you can name him. Immediately I'm like, well, he's gonna name him Brian. That's fucking obvious or whatever. But I really did like how it ended with like a picnic barbecue like table.
They all end like that,
right? The exact, but that's cool. So I missed 3 of them, so I didn't know that literally they all ended like that. But the first one ends like that, and this one and the last one. So I'm like, okay, that's awesome.
I didn't see that. What the fuck is Snake's real name?
Snake Plissken?
Yeah.
Kurt Russell.
I didn't see that Kurt Russell was at the table too. So when I first saw Little Nobody, I was like, "The fuck is he sitting at the table for?"
Fuck you, motherfucker!
And then I see Kurt, and I'm like, all right, they're both there.
Okay, so you share my like.
I didn't think he had a place to be there alone, but next movie he will be there alone.
I know, and I don't want that. It bothers me so much. Fuck.
We got a mission.
And he's like, let's do this. And it's like, have you proven yourself or whatever?
I would like Clint Eastwood to be in the next movie.
Clint Eastwood?
Yeah.
I think that they should go all out because they're
if you're only doing 2 more.
Yeah, they're shooting for 10s. They should really,
The whole cast of the Expendables should be the bad guys of the next episode.
Whole fucking people. Yeah, they should really go all out, and I think that they can. Do you think maybe 9 and 10 are like parts 1 and 2 of like the last of like the finale?
I wouldn't
be
surprised,
series?
honestly.
That would be really good. They should film them back to back. It should be.
Well, that's why I wouldn't be surprised because they're getting older.
It should be like a 3-hour rated R like director's cut, right? And like she comes back and someone else comes back, right? Is there anyone else to come back who hasn't been back yet?
Well, everyone that dies can come back, so anyone can come because everyone that's died. They said that in the next one they thought that Han was going to come back.
Oh wow!
So
as a cyborg with a katana.
We'll see.
Oh my god, that's amazing. Yeah, I'm not sure how they're gonna do some of that stuff, but no, so good. Fucking parts of it were so good that it's so good.
The action is amazing. They really go all out on these action scenes.
And the like you said, like the one-liners, the comedy. That whole Jason Statham sequence is so good with the baby.
With the baby,
that alone, that
baby looks like it could be Vin Diesel's kid.
And like. I was gonna say, like, baby acting is rough or like whatever. I don't know if they just left the camera on for like such a long time, but they had the baby like look left, and they had the baby like clap or do something that like fit with something, and I'm like, holy shit, this baby's a star.
Is that you or him?
Yeah, and the baby was like, and he's like, good, like you're cool or whatever with this baby, and just him. Like, how do you make a stupid, like, advancing gun thing more interesting? You're throwing a baby, and then the fucking thing that he gave him was, like, his tunes that you want the baby to be listening to, and he puts the headphones on.
He's like, these guns have to be loud. Let me put music and loud gunshots.
I told you. It's going to be fun, or whatever.
Yeah.
No.
This is a great movie.
Pass the torch to that baby. That baby should be there. When they were in, like, the last scene, when he, like, turns the baby and they have their heads, I'm like, you can tell it's his kid because they're both bald. Something like that. Oh, so dumb. Amazing.
Yeah, so we're definitely giving this 2 thumbs up.
Totally. Do we do like numerical ratings?
Yeah, like 1 thumb, and then there's like the second thumb.
Good.
So it's like
2 out of 2.
Yeah.
Which rounds or like factors out to 1.
It's like 100% good.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. All right, guys. So check this out. Let us know in the comments below what you think about this movie. And until next time, don't die in a fire. You swishy son of a bitch.